Are you aware of what really happened to you?
No, I'm not.
Or can you talk about
I can talk about it, but I'm not aware of what really happened to me.
Yeah.
All I know is that I went to a friend's birthday party. I gave a friend a birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
You thought was your friend?
Well, we ain't even gonna touch on that.
Yeah.
I came home like I would normally do.
Tell you something, your lawyers are about to have a whole lot to handle. I told you once and I'm gonna tell you again, I'm not one of these new bitches to doing this, baby. I'm 14 years in, been sued by some of the best.
Okay, y'all, we need to sit down for this one, because what just came out about Tamar Braxton, it's not just messy, it's shocking, it's emotional, and depending on who you believe, it could change everything we thought we knew about that night. For months, people have been whispering, posting, speculating, trying to piece together what really happened when Tamar said she woke up injured with no memory of how she got that way. At first, it sounded confusing, then it sounded suspicious, and now Tamar is finally speaking out, saying there's a reason things went left that night, and she's pointing directly at Mendeecees.
Part of the problem with this whole thing was, Tamar, is that I was never comfortable with the relationship that you and Mendeecees had in front of me, okay? All of that, you at the music video shoot in your booty shorts, sitting on top of him meeting us up at restaurants every time we met up, I was very uncomfortable with it. And if we gonna tell it, let's tell it all.
Yes, that Mendeecees. And if that wasn't enough, Funky Dineva is back in the mix, claiming he has video evidence, not just stories, not just opinions, actual footage. So now the question isn't just what happened, it's who's telling the truth. Because when friendships fall apart in public and marriages get pulled into the spotlight and videos start getting leaked, nobody walks away clean. And what nobody expected was Tamar herself finally breaking her silence in a way that shifts the whole story. Let's rewind for a minute. Tamar Braxton has never been a quiet personality. From her days on Braxton Family Values to her solo music career, she has always lived her life out loud. We've seen her cry, argue, celebrate, and fall apart, all on camera. And whether people love her or criticize her, one thing is clear: she feels things deeply.
I want to know what all the hell going on. I want to know what's going on too, bitch, okay? The lady got on the internet and said she almost died. Now listen, let me just go ahead and get this out the way, okay, before we even get to the top of the show. I don't know what happened to the lady. Okay, for those of y'all that don't know, I'm talking about Tamar Braxton. I don't know what happened to the lady.
Over the years, Tamar has faced heartbreak after heartbreak. Her public divorce with Vincent Herbert was messy. Her relationships after that were put under a microscope. Even her mental health struggles were discussed online like they were just gossip. That kind of pressure changes a person. But Tamar kept pushing forward. Then there's Mendeecees. Known for his relationship with Yandy Smith from Love and Hip Hop New York, he's no stranger to drama either. His past legal issues were public. His marriage has faced rumors before, but through it all, Yandy stood by him, at least publicly. So when Tamar and Mendeecees were seen in the same spaces at the same events, nobody thought much of it at first. The entertainment world is small. People run into each other all the time. But behind the scenes, according to Tamar, there was tension building.
I want him to tell his own story. You know, I don't really like telling people's story. You should ask Mendeecees.
She later explained that there had been misunderstandings, conversations that felt too friendly, moments that crossed lines. She didn't go into graphic detail, but she hinted that Mendeecees had been acting in ways that made her uncomfortable, especially when cameras weren't around. At first, she brushed it off, but then came that night. The night everything exploded. According to Tamar's latest statement, she and Mendeecees were both at the same gathering. Music was playing, drinks were flowing, people were laughing. It was supposed to be just another industry night, but Tamar says the vibe shifted. She claims Mendeecees confronted her privately about rumors that had been floating online, rumors suggesting there was something going on between them.
All I was asking was for you to go back to your stories and put, Funky Dineva didn't do anything to me, guys. I was resting. I should have said something earlier. That was all you had to do, and it could have been done with on my end. Even in this very moment, that was all you had to do, and it could have been done.
Tamar says she tried to shut it down, telling him clearly that she wasn't interested and didn't appreciate being dragged into speculation about a married man. That's when things allegedly got heated. Tamar says voices were raised, accusations were thrown. She felt cornered, and in her words, Mendeecees lost control. Now, let's be clear, these are her claims. She says he grabbed her arm aggressively. She says she tried to pull away. She says in the chaos, she fell and hit something hard. That's the part she says explains the injuries she later described. But here's the twist. For months, she never said his name. She posted vague messages. She talked about betrayal. She talked about being hurt. But she never directly accused Mendeecees.
I did not get out the car and go upstairs with Tamar when we got back to her house. Because after her and Mendeecees got through kissing in the back of that goddamn car, I figured they wanted to be up there privately. That is why when we got dropped off at Tamar's house, I did not go upstairs. I got in my damn car and went home because you was sitting on his lap in that goddamn Uber and y'all ass was kissing, okay? And the shit made me damn uncomfortable.
Why? According to her, she was scared of the backlash. She didn't want to destroy a family. She didn't want to deal with fans attacking her, so she stayed quiet. But Funky Dineva wasn't staying quiet. From the very beginning, Funky has been vocal. He said something didn't add up. He said he was there. He said he saw things. At first, people thought he was just stirring drama, but now he's claiming he has video from that night. And when he hinted at releasing it, social media went crazy.
If anybody know who happened and what happened to your damn teeth, it's Mendeecees and his best friend, because they was the ones who went upstairs with you. Now, I don't know whether they was f***ing your ass from the back and ran your head through the headboard or what, okay? But if anybody need to be investigated on what happened to you in your damn teeth, it need to be Mendeecees and his friend, because that's who went upstairs with you.
Funky says the footage shows Tamar and Mendeecees arguing outside. He says it captures body language that supports Tamar's version of events. He also says it proves he wasn't involved in any wrongdoing, clearing his own name in the process. But he hasn't released the full video. Not yet. Instead, he's teasing clips, shadows, raised voices, just enough to keep everyone guessing. And here's where it gets complicated. Sources close to Mendeecees are denying everything. They claim there was no physical altercation. They say Tamar is twisting a heated conversation into something more serious. They insist that if there was a fall, it was accidental and not caused by aggression.
And I knew that this is how you was gonna play it. So now we finna take it all the way back to the very beginning. I knew this was how you was gonna play it. And let's be very clear here. If y'all remember when the situation first broke and about the whole mouth stuff, and I said, and the only reason you dropped that video is because, and I said, I ain't gonna do it to you. Y'all remember that? I said, and the only reason you dropped that music video real quick like this was because, and I said I ain't even gonna do it. The reason you dropped that music video as quickly as you did is because people had spotted y'all ass, okay? Inappropriate relationship. Well, you tell me, Tamar, if it's appropriate or inappropriate when we're sitting at Roof Chris and he's rubbing in between your thighs, in between your dress.
Yandy has remained mostly silent, but she did post a message about protecting your peace and not responding to lies. She didn't name Tamar, but the timing raised eyebrows. Meanwhile, Tamar says she's tired of protecting people who didn't protect her. She recently went live, emotional and frustrated, saying she carried this alone for too long. She said she was painted as dramatic, unstable, and attention-seeking when she was actually dealing with trauma. Her voice cracked when she said, "I didn't deserve that." And that's the part that hit people, because whether you believe her or not, you could see the pain. But then, Funky added another layer.
About the whole thing was the fact that you don't get to go around and create media shitstorms that involve other people without their permission. That whole, my teeth fell out, and I don't know what happened. Tamar, like, sis. And then you had that Spanish lady make that video down in Miami lying. There is nobody who had the amount of mouth trauma that you had that healed that quickly.
He suggested that there was more tension between Tamar and Mendeecees than anyone realized. He hinted that feelings may have been involved at some point, feelings Tamar now regrets entertaining. He didn't say it outright, but he implied the situation wasn't as simple as a random argument. That implication changed the tone online. Now the conversation isn't just about an alleged altercation, it's about boundaries, emotional lines, and whether both sides played a role in creating a messy situation that spiraled out of control. Some fans are firmly Team Tamar. They believe her. They say women are often silenced in situations like this. They argue that her hesitation to speak up makes sense given her history of being labeled too much. Others are skeptical. They question why the story evolved over time. They wonder why she didn't name Mendeecees from the beginning.
Tamar, you gonna sit up in my face? You gonna sit up in my face with your three faces and tell me that you and Mendeecees did not have a conversation at that table in Roof Chris about him putting out a statement about him and Yandy not being together no more? We really gonna do that? And he said he did a version of the letter on ChatGPT. And then you started laughing back and was like, no, you gotta go back and rewrite it to kind of make it sound like it's you. We gonna say that didn't happen? We gonna say that didn't happen? We gonna sit up here and say, after he was digging in between your thighs at that Roof Chris, and he got up and went to the bathroom, that the conversation was, y'all, I can't. He's just my friend. He's just my friend. I can't. I mean, and then I said, Tamar, ain't he married? He ain't married. They not married. They just do that for the show. They not married. That's what we gonna do?
They ask why Funky is the one holding video instead of authorities. And that's where things get even more dramatic, because if there truly was an assault, why wasn't it handled legally? Tamar says she considered it. She says she was advised to move carefully. She says she didn't want a court battle that would drag her through more headlines. But critics say that explanation leaves gaps. And in the middle of all of this are real families. Yandy and Mendeecees have children. Tamar has a son who already sees his mother in the news constantly. Every new headline reopens wounds. Friends have reportedly chosen sides. Industry invites have gotten awkward. Events that once felt comfortable now feel tense. And emotionally, Tamar looks drained. In recent appearances, she's been softer, quieter. There's still fire there, but it feels mixed with exhaustion. She said this situation reminded her why she sometimes pulls back from friendships in the industry. Trust, once broken publicly, is hard to rebuild. Mendeecees, on the other hand, has kept a firm face. He hasn't addressed Tamar directly in detail. Instead, he focuses on his marriage and business moves. But insiders say the pressure behind closed doors is heavy, because even if nothing physical happened, the rumors alone are damaging. And what nobody expected was how this would affect Tamar's character narrative. Instead of promoting music or television projects, she's defending her character. Instead of celebrating wins, she's explaining trauma. It's draining. But here's the powerful part. Tamar says she's done being silent. She says the truth matters more than comfort. She says protecting her peace now means speaking up, even if it makes people uncomfortable. And Funky, he says if pushed, he will release everything. So where does that leave us? In a place of questions. Did a private argument turn into something physical? Was there emotional tension that made everything more explosive? Is the video proof of wrongdoing or just proof of a loud disagreement? Only the people who were there know every detail, but what we do know is this: when pride, rumors, and unresolved feelings mix together, things can spiral fast. And this story feels far from over, because if that full video drops, it could clear names or create even more chaos. Either way, one thing is certain: the truth has a way of coming out even when people try to hold it back. So tell me, after hearing Tamar's side and knowing Funky claims to have receipts, where do you stand? Do you believe her? Do you think there's more to this that hasn't been revealed? Or do you feel like we're only seeing pieces of a much bigger puzzle? Drop your thoughts below, because this conversation is not ending anytime soon. And trust me, if that full footage ever sees the light of day, we'll be right back here breaking it all down.